So we're about to have a Scuf off. So I have the Scuf Impact, and I also have the Scuf Reflex. So we're going to be looking at these two controllers, and we're going to be talking a little bit about them as well, just to see if it's actually worth it just to wait and get the Reflex, or should you go ahead and grab the Scuf Impact that's available right now. So I do have my fair share of custom controllers, and if you want to see my other videos, I should have some links that's going to be going off right up above, right up here. So we have all of the other videos that I do on the channel as well. So I did a lot of different reviews on some controllers, such as I did a full review of the Reflex controller. I also did a review of the aim controller when I first got it. Just to jump right into the video, so first we're going to talk about, for this video, we're going to talk about a little bit more about the ergonomics. Like, basically, between these two controllers, like, how do they feel when you are playing games? So let me start off first by talking about the Reflex. The Reflex is completely comfortable. It is one of the most comfortable controllers I've used to date, and that's mainly because it's actually using the PlayStation 5 DualSense form factor. So every single thing about this controller is just as the PlayStation 5 DualSense. However, there's different touches and different upgrades that Scuf has added to it as well that makes this controller feels and responds very, very well. So when we talk about the Scuf Instinct, so this controller has been out for quite some time now. This is the same controller that used by FaceSwag, that's used by a lot of different individuals, such as Aiden, because these are individuals who are sponsored by Scuf. So these controllers work extremely well. The one good thing about this controller right now is that you can actually customize it, but the Scuf Reflex, you can't customize it right now. However, when we talk about the ergonomics and the feel of this controller, it feels really good. It's like, this is basically what the PlayStation 4 controller should have been like. So it got a nice wide body factor to it, and it also has, like, you know, it feels exactly like an Xbox 360 controller, which is one of the best controllers ever in terms of ergonomics and stuff. But it also has the PlayStation factor, and I've been using this controller for a little while now, and it feels extremely well. But I must say that the DualSense controller feels a lot better in terms of the how it feels. So if I was supposed to score this and give them a score between the new one and the old one, I'll definitely give it to the new one, because just the newer design is just so much better, and it feels a lot better in terms of how it feels. So when we talk about durability of the controllers, like how durable are these paddles of the controller, and how durable is the controller itself? So these paddles that are made for the PlayStation, the PS5 Reflex, the PS5 version of the controllers, these controllers are extremely durable. I don't think that anyone will be able to break these controllers. These controllers are so durable that, like, I don't know, like, if you look at just the press and look at this, how it's built, like, you're not going to be able to break these controllers, like, in ever. So when we jump over and look at the Impact back buttons, these back buttons are a little bit different, and they're more angled off, so, and they're more on the edge itself. So these you can easily break over time if you, like, press it too hard. If you're a person that, like, is a little bit more, like, harder on your controllers, you can easily break these paddles. The Reflex is just so much more durable. Okay, so when we talk about programming of these controllers, now both controllers can be programmed, and they can be programmed very easily. So for this particular controller, which is the Scuf Impact, all you gotta do is put a magnet right here, and you just simply hold the buttons that you want to map to the back button that you want to map. For this particular controller, I only have 2 paddles, but 4 paddles are available because I only use 2 paddles. I don't really need the middle ones. It's so difficult to hit these ones for me personally, because my hands are a little bit smaller versus having to hit the other ones in between. So basically, you just put the magnet on here, and it's easily remapped. So when we talk about the DualSense, DualSense, like the Reflex controller, so the DualSense Reflex controller from Scuf. So to remap it, there's a button right here. All you gotta do is press and hold the button, right? When you press the button, so it has to be on first, obviously. So it should be different colors. So I have mine set for blue is for FPS games, red is more set for, like, you know, like casually, and, like, I have green set for, like, if I play racing games, like, for example, you know, we have Forza. Okay, not Forza, but no, we have Gran Turismo out, so you definitely use that for Gran Turismo. So if you basically want to remap the controller, you just press this button right here on the color that you want to remap it with. I'm going to use blue, and you press and hold it. So once you press and hold, it's gonna blink. So once it's blinking, you hold and map with the button that you want to map it to, and hold the back button, and you can map it to like whatever button that you want to map it to. So in terms of how simple and how easy the mapping is for the 2 controller, I'm definitely going to give this all over to the Reflex as well. The reason why I'm saying the Reflex is because it's so much easier. With the Impact, you need to have a magnet. So if you lose your magnet you got from Scuf, you're going to have to buy a new magnet. But I recommend just using a regular magnet you can find around the house, a speaker magnet or any magnet. All of them all work. So you hold the magnet here and you literally start remapping it. Triggers. Okay, so when we talk about like the triggers of the controller, so the bad thing about this review is that I don't have the Scuf FPS. I've been trying to get my hands on a Scuf FPS, but I haven't been able to get one. And the main reason is I think Scuf might have actually blacklisted me because I was supposed to get 2 Scuf Reflexes, but my second order got messed up and I got really angry and I said a lot of stuff that I regret. Scuf, I apologize for saying those things. If you could please not bar me from getting a Scuf FPS so I can actually do an actual review of the controller, it would be really lovely. I mean, it's more publicity for you and also it's more views on my channel as well. So this is like an open letter to Scuf. But basically, it's hard for me to talk about the triggers because I mostly play FPS games. And for my Scuf Impact, right, that I got here, they both have instant triggers. And these instant triggers work extremely well. Now, Scuf has issues with the instant triggers where, you know, the instant triggers will stop working and it's usually a simple fix. I fix my own controller, so I was able to fix this myself when I had that issue, but some folks might not be able to do that, right? So the instant triggers is a big issue for other people. It breaks after a while, but when it comes to the Scuf Reflex, I'm not too sure about the Scuf Reflex FPS because I haven't got one. I have the regular one. This is Scuf Reflex Pro. Is it Pro? Yeah, this is the Scuf Reflex Pro version. So, in the Pro version only has the extra, you know, fancy grips and the paddles. It doesn't really have anything else it doesn't really have the instant triggers that I really love. So, it's hard for me to say, but I definitely think that the Scuf Reflex will have better triggers because the Scuf Reflex uses the same mechanics that AIM uses and the similar mechanics to what Extreme Rate uses, then it definitely would be a lot more durable. And these pedals are definitely built a lot more durable than the PS4 pedals. So I definitely think the Scuf Reflex is just so much better. So another important factor to talk about is pricing. So how much does these 2 controllers cost? So at the time of my purchase, when I purchased my controller, I paid for the Scuf Reflex Pro, and that cost me $229.99. I had to pay $20 for shipping, and after I pay like duties and everything, it came up to about $286. So roughly around $286. So because of taxes and duties and all the different things, it comes to $26 because, you know, that's how much I would normally pay. So you might pay a little bit different depending on what state you're living in and depending on what taxes that they may charge you for that particular state. So, but expect to pay the base price of $299 at least plus shipping. If you want to get faster shipping, you're going to pay like $30. So depending on what you go for. So we're not going to pay in more than $300 though. That's $300 USD. So expect to pay around that much. So when it comes to the Scuf Impact, right? This is a customized Scuf Impact. So you're looking at about $240 for this one because of all the customization, because the instant triggers that were added, because of the different button colors, because of the Scuf sticks that were, you know, like you're looking at a little bit more, and the grips as well. You're looking at about around $250, which is not too bad, right? So that's roughly around, with shipping and everything, around $304. So if both controls are around the same price, new, and this one comes with instant triggers, which is, I don't know why you need to just add instant triggers to the Scuf Pro. Like it doesn't make sense, right? But in terms of the pricing, I would say that they're both even. Like they both cost around the same amount of money. And if you were supposed to buy Impact now, you can pay upwards to about $300 depending on how much customization. But the good thing is that you can customize it like how you want it. Another important factor is compatibility in terms of between the Scuf Impact and the Scuf Reflex. So the Scuf Reflex is a PlayStation 5 form factor controller. So it uses all the PlayStation 5 internals and components. That means that the Scuf Reflex can only work on PC using the DS4 Windows or another simulator, or it can work on the PlayStation 5 with PlayStation 5 games. So when it comes to the Scuf Impact itself, so the Scuf Impact will work with PlayStation 4, and it will also work with PlayStation 5, but only with PlayStation 4 games on PlayStation 5. So that's a big caveat about this one. It will also work perfectly on PC as well using DS4 Windows or any other, like another simulated software. So in terms of compatibility, just know that the PlayStation 5 Reflex is for PS5 per se and PC. This one can work on all three of the consoles, but only on PS4 games on the PS5. Definitely, this is definitely more compatible with more devices if you were supposed to like give it a score, you know. So in terms of the verdict, right? So should you go ahead with the Reflex or should you go ahead with the Impacts? So I would definitely say that you should definitely go ahead with the Reflex. The reason why I think the Reflex is a better option is because it's a more upgradable controller. So if you just bought a PlayStation 5, you don't want to go ahead and get the Scuf Impact with not being able to play PlayStation 5 games with your Scuf Impact. And if you already have a PC, I understand that if you have a PC, this is fully compatible with like every game on the PC, right? So that's a different story. And you can also customize it, right? And if you like the PS4 form factor better, this would definitely be a better fit. So, but I would say that the Reflex is better even on PC because it's a newer controller and the DualSense feels so much more, it's a bigger controller, so it fits your hands so much better. And like, you know what I mean? Your aim, for me personally, my aim is better. Everything's just better on this controller. I really love the Scuf Reflexes. I think it's just an amazing design and just the way how it's put together. This was definitely the king of controllers when it was new, or when it was out, because it's a form factor that people love. Everybody loves the PlayStation 5 form factor with the two joysticks in the middle, right? And just being able to have the Xbox 360 type of feel body with the PlayStation form factor was just combining two of the best worlds. So I'll definitely say this was the king of its time, but now we do have a new king out right now, and yeah, it's the PlayStation 5 Reflex. Yeah, so the PlayStation 5 Impact is now being dethroned by the PlayStation 5 Reflex. So it left the Impact, but now we see a better Reflex, I guess.